I remember Technoblade. I remember his face. I remember his laugh. I remember his elbows. I remember all the funny memories that he gave me. All of the clips that I remember so fondly. All of the jokes that made his viewers watch his videos over and over. All of the uploads I'd be so happy to watch, including his final upload. Well, technically his second to last, but like, who's really counting? I was at Boy Scout summer camp for the week, and you know, you're not supposed to have your phones in Boy Scouts because it's like a distraction from the whole fun experience. So I leave mine at home, and I remember my friend told me, hey, Technoblade uploaded. And I was so excited because I'm like, oh, Technoblade uploaded, that's amazing. And he asked if we wanted to sit down and watch the video together. So we sat down on a cot, which is kind of like a portable bed for camping, which they have at most of the summer camps we go to. And we watched the video. Now, my first thought was genuine confusion and somewhat shock. This isn't really what I expected, you know, but when Technoblade's dad starts choking up into tears, my eyes become waterfalls. You know, Techno really was a part of us, all of us, and we were all a part of him and a piece of his channel. This is my piece, my story. Basically, for a Boy Scout religious award, you have to do a certain amount of community service hours to get it, to show that you're doing your duty to God or whatever. Okay, so there was this retirement home, and we basically went to give a bunch of boomers some coffee and cookies, as well as biscuits and tea, and I don't know, some of them were probably like, grew up in Britain, I don't know, it's 4th of July, I'm American, USA, USA, USA. So I celebrated by lighting up the sky and burning a hole in the ozone layer to show how much I love this country. We were waiting for, like, in the lounge for people to show up, and my friend was watching this live stream on his phone of some random guy online who's apparently streaming Bed Wars, and this nerd had a super high win streak, and he was trying to like break a world record or something, and then keep going till 1,000. And I told him, you know, hey, I'd check out the channel because it seems pretty interesting to watch, and I asked him for the name, and he was like, oh, it's Technoblade. So I go home, check out some videos, and you know, I subscribed. I loved his content, and his videos were super funny. He just seemed like a cool guy overall. Also, Technoblade's videos are timeless. You can rewatch them over and over again and still be entertained. I was there for every Minecraft Monday, except I think week 5, and I was even there for Hypixel Monday when the server got hacked, so they just played on Hypixel. I watched every Minecraft Championship live, including when I had to watch MCC Pride at a family like lunch because I begged my parents to let me have the phone so I could my phone at the table so I can watch it. Now, I remember my phone died on the car ride home. I was like, book it, we have to get back as quickly as possible. And of course my mom's like, okay, we're gonna take our time and get home, and then you can charge your phone and watch the thing on your computer. You know, whenever Technoblade uploaded, out of the 6 options I had on YouTube, it would be the first one I'd click. I don't care if there was news about random missiles flying in the air, a lot of talk about the Afghanistan war. Heck, even if there was a literal attack on the American White House during a Technoblade live stream. I know how patriotic I was for the 4th of July, but I'm not, like, I don't care at all. Those events are all terrifying, but I have something more important to focus on right now, and that is Technoblade. I focus on all the good memories, the great clips, the funny moments, the lack of quality editing that just make Technoblade's videos almost completely entertaining, because he would do jump cuts sometimes in his Skywars videos, but it'd just be him going through essentially just playing the game and having a good time. I remember that I wasn't really sure what to watch on YouTube during COVID lockdown, and I got recommended one of Technoblade's old Skywars videos. And then I kept watching them and watching them and watching them, even a couple survival games videos. Even though they're basically ancient on his channel by now, being like, 7 or 8 years old. They don't lose values as a timeless classic. A video that you could watch again, and years down the road, watch again. I never really forgot Technoblade. In fact, he's someone I can never forget. He's someone who tried to bring his best to bring enjoyable content. He's someone who tried his best to bring enjoyable content to all of us. And in my opinion, I think he might have tried a little too hard. From the very start, Technoblade's philosophy was to shoot for the stars. He always wanted to be the best. He thought everything out so methodically. He truly was a genius. I think that Technoblade's one tragic flaw, the one problem, the one critical error in the entirety of his character, was his hubris, his excessive pride and self-confidence. Now, it's evident in just about every video and every stream, and Technoblade could do anything he set his mind to. But one clip in particular really stood out to me when I was watching his Dream SMP stream once. He said that he was so stressed about the dream fight that apparently his stomach actually shrunk, which is possible because stress does so much and it can eat people up in so many ways, especially prolonged stress. And cognitive stress, which is most likely what he was under, is a perceptive stress that wouldn't really go away until after the fight. And you see in his video when he wins, the entirety of the duel, he's just breathing heavily, and then Mr. Beast joins the call, and he's like, I actually did it, I won, because Technoblade would always win. Him and Dream could fight 1,000,000 times over, but Technoblade was always number one. And personally, as someone who has done very little cancer research and is warning, not a doctor nor a trained professional, and to all of you, I'm just a random guy on the internet. Anyhow, I'm citing mdanderson.org for this article, which is a cancer research organization. Long-term or chronic stress is more damaging. That type of stress springs from situations that may last many weeks or months with no definite endpoint. There's little doubt it promotes the growth and strength of forms of the disease, aka cancer, and that stress hormones can inhibit a process called anoikis, which kills disease cells and prevents them from spreading. In terms of cancer prevention, your body has natural systems to limit, and all sorts of things to limit the spread and development of cancer. But when those systems fail, you will get a tumor, and it will grow, and it can spread to other parts of your body even. I don't think it's a coincidence that Technoblade got cancer in his shoulder. If he sits down constantly playing Minecraft, which he wasn't always doing, but frequently did, it's probably an area that at least was always under stress, if not constantly being used by him. And whether or not he stretched or took little breaks is probably debatable, because in his VR video he's saying he'd forget to do his stretches and warm-ups to recover his arms in therapy, like at home to recover. Additionally, humans tend to store stress in their shoulders. According to Intralo Health, further research suggests that if you're feeling stressed or apprehensive, your body tightens its muscles to become more resilient, and those muscles include your neck and shoulder. Also, if you're going through a difficult period in your life, or you're suddenly shocked or stressed as a result of a traumatic incident, then you're more likely to have a difficult time recovering from this tension. And as a result, your body will lay in a semi-emergency state, a readiness state. Indeed, this is the way our bodies are programmed, and is something we call the stress response hyperstimulation. Now, this is a lot of crazy talk for scientific reasoning and probably years and lots of research. But the the fact of the matter is that I know when I used to be playing over COVID, I'd play for long amounts of time. I was super stressed out, and I had like some shoulder problems. You know, nothing like he did, but I like my shoulder would hurt, so I started doing a lot more stretches, taking breaks. But you know, Technoblade didn't really take breaks. He kept going. During the potato war, he farmed up to 11 hours a day. And for the dream fight, he was constantly stressed about it and always practicing to get better. Now, Technoblade, when he finished the Great Potato War, finished the whole Dream Duel, and was dealing with a lot of stressful excitement on his streams on the Dream SMP, I think this clip from Wilbur really explains it all.
That's concerning.
When was the last time you washed your royal gown?
Anyways, let me show you the farm.
Show me the farm. Show me the farm.
Yeah, I've been working hard on the farm.
I'm actually a little hungry, so this is good.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
potatoes
okay.
now.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is bigger than I was expecting, but you know, I've seen what
Yeah,
you
we
can
got-
do, Technoblade. Okay. How long have you been on this? How long have you spent here?
I haven't logged off.
Wait, you haven't logged off the server from
Yeah,
last night.
I've just been here.
That's like 14 hours, Technoblade.
Revolution waits for no man.
I respect that. I respect that. I was expecting the cave to look a little bit more developed in that case.
Oh, that's not in my skill set.
All right, that's what I'll be doing today then. So I was thinking, you haven't logged out.
You know, when Techno died, people kept saying, F cancer. Cancer sucks. Cancer's the worst. Cancer is terrible. Which it is. But there are a lot of factors that can cause cancer. And in my unprofessional opinion, Technoblade wasn't just an unlucky person to develop cancer. Technoblade carried too much weight on his shoulders. In the wise words from Shakespeare, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Henry IV, Part 2. Technoblade bore the immense weight of his crown. Technoblade worried about everything. Technoblade, from the very start, always wanted to be the very best. And he'd stop at nothing to keep pushing forward. After Technoblade died, someone with much more experience in cancer research than me deduced that based on the timeline of Technoblade's cancer resurfacing, that it must have been really aggressive and volatile to grow back so quickly. Cancer isn't just a disease. It's a mutation in your cells which causes them to multiply like crazy. Now, there's a million processes in your body to prevent this, but, you know, especially under physiological stress like Technoblade was, the body can sometimes not work at its peak performance, and sometimes it'll make more mistakes. You know, Technoblade really pushed himself too far. He pushed his body too far. He pushed himself past his limits. He farmed potatoes for 11 hours a day. and he tried to upload as much content as possible while having so much fun on so many people's channels and so many streams and enjoying time with his audience. At the end of the day, Technoblade made us all laugh. He always knew how to make us laugh, and in his hardest of times, when battling cancer, he's cracking jokes, and it really shows a lot about his character, and that's why I loved him so much. That's why we all loved him so much. That's why his memory isn't something we can just forget. That same day, I watched the Technoblade upload, infamously titled So Long Nerds. I was sitting that night at the campfire, and I heard the news that essentially in Boy Scouts, once you turn 18, you're no longer a youth. You age out of the group. And that night, a kid named Alex would turn 18 in August. So that would be the last time we saw him in the troop. Sure, it was a coincidence, but it carries more meaning to me than it would have otherwise. That day, I basically lost Alex, and then I also lost Technoblade, whose name was actually Alex. It's funny because a while ago, I looked up what Technoblade's name was, and I found a couple things. One, I didn't think his name was Gabe. It didn't match with him as a person. I don't know, maybe I'm just a psychoanalyst on names or something. But I was particularly interested in the fact that Technoblade means the blood god. And at the end of the day, Technoblade acted like a god, and we treated him like a god. But there's no one that cared for him more and that went through the hardest experience than Technoblade's close family. Techno lived a short life. His family had to deal with the entire process of him having cancer, and I'm sure his death struck the hardest for them. I think that the only thing Technoblade ever truly lost was the battle against cancer, because he could win just about anything else. And it sucks. But I know that Techno lived a happy life, and he wouldn't have changed it or had it any other way.